What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here, and this is Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 15, Terms of Service. So, kind of an interesting episode here with the two sides. You've got, well, actually, kind of three sides, because you've got Gary kind of torturing the team, you've got Zari and Charlie going after, trying to pretty much stop Neron, and then also you've got Constantine in Hell trying to find if he can get to Ray, and then also Astra. So, first off, talk about kind of what's going on with Gary, because I did talk about in the last review how if he is kind of teaming up with Neron because all these jokes have actually made him feel like he's less of a person, and these jokes have not, they've not been treating him very well. It's kind of like I said, these jokes don't seem as funny anymore. Now they seem kind of sad because it was affecting him. And while some of the stuff that he was going through was funny, at the end of it all, he even said, like, he knew Fairy Godmother was trying to get him to hurt them, but he was just trying to get them to be friends. Even though it is a little twisted, he was still just trying to hang out with them. So, again, it seems more sad than funny, and I feel like because this show is more of a comedy show, I feel like it kind of weakens his character a little bit. Because just to be frank, the couple times that we've seen him not being the butt of the joke, it's not been as funny. It's not been, his character's not been as strong. And it's weird to say, but they've created a very good character to be the butt of the joke. But whenever that turns and all of a sudden he's more torturing them by the end of it because he's been treated so poorly, now it feels, I mean, it's more grounded in reality, I would say, but that also makes these jokes, it makes them less. It makes them not as funny. And just to be perfectly honest, I think Gary, whenever he is having the more serious moment, is not. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the actor has difficulty playing those parts, or if maybe the director isn't sure how to deal with Gary in more serious situations. But it just doesn't work as well as when he's doing comedy bits. So, yeah, I'm a little disappointed that they have decided to go that route with him. But ultimately, by the end, he's back with the team again, and they're treating him better. So, who knows? We'll see how it goes. We've also got Zari and Charlie teaming up. I like the fact that Charlie had a chance to kind of sacrifice herself for all of the monsters in there. Her character has grown throughout the season for the most part, so I'm not minded what they're doing with her. But we do see ultimately. I was really confused because Tabitha, we were seeing, was actually being really nice to Nora, and I was thinking to myself, why? Like, is there something going on between her and Neron that I'm not sure about? Or is there what exactly is happening? Is she trying to trick Nora? And then ultimately, whenever she was like, hey, why don't you become a fairy godmother? Then you could heal Mona. I was like, oh, okay. So this is the play. I'm a little sad that Nora fell for it, though, just because Nora's smarter than that. And as soon as she offered that, I was thinking, okay, so she's trying to trick her into it. I'm a little disappointed that Nora did fall for it, ultimately. But yeah, so now Tabitha is apparently free of her fairy godmother curse, which I didn't realize that's what was going on. But now Nora has the fairy godmother curse on her, which means she has to listen to what her current possessor asked her to do. God. Oh, one more episode and I can go to sleep. But yeah, so then Gary, of course, tells her to go to hell to find John and help him get Ray's soul back, which we do see. I'll talk about that too, but I find it interesting because I'm unsure of how they're going to handle that situation since Constantine already made his choice and chose wrong. But who knows? Maybe now that she has these powers as a fairy godmother, maybe she will be able to help Constantine get out of this tricky situation he finds himself in. But yeah, so I like how they handled a lot of that. I like how they handled Nora. Honestly, just going in and trying to help out. Still not really on board with Mona. Like they're all like, "We gotta help Mona. Oh my gosh, Mona, we gotta help her." Like, you don't have to. You can let her be off the show. It's fine. You don't have to. That's just me. But then, as far as what's going on in Hell with Constantine, little confused because it seems like he went down there with a mission in mind, and it seems like he forgot the mission once Astra came up. Uh, because I mean, I don't know. I get they were trying to trick him. They were trying to tempt him into this, but it's still kind of like you went down there with one goal in mind to get Ray's soul back. So why would you decide all of a sudden to just change your mind? I get, Constantine has done a lot of selfish things this season, but this seemed like a moment where he was finally growing as a character, and I thought this was going to be his ultimate choice. But instead they decided to make him make the wrong choice, which means now Nora might have to come down and help him out of the situation. But I'm really disappointed because it felt like this would have been the perfect turnaround for him. It would have fit perfectly with what they were doing with him this season, which is making him be more a part of the team instead of his own solo act. That I feel like would have been a good redemption for him. He had a choice to save this girl that he really, really cared for, but then he chooses her, and I'm just like that. That kind of goes against what I thought you were doing with his character this season. Like, for them to do that 180, it felt kind of jarring. And I feel like they did it just for more shock value than anything else. Like, it didn't feel quite right with what they were writing for the rest of this season. So I'm really disappointed they decided to do that. I really felt like that would have been a good time for them to end his story on a high note. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed that happened. And it's not really John I'm disappointed in. Like, I'm disappointed with the writers. Because, again, it felt like this is where it would be leading. Honestly, they could have ended this episode with, John, you have a choice. Do you save Ray or do you save Astra? And then that's where his story ends. I'm so sorry. I don't know why, but I've been so exhausted all day today. I mean, it's only 10:30, and I'm never this tired at 10:30. But hopefully I can get through one more episode, because that's my plan. One more, I'll be done with all of the DC shows. Woo! Just got to get them uploaded. Still got a lot to upload. But yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens. But all in all, I mean, it's a good episode. It's a good setup. I was just really disappointed with a couple of the decisions they decided to make, mainly with Gary and with Constantine. But see how it all ends. See you there in a sec. And finally, episode 16, season finale. Hey, world! I see what they did there. The hey, world and hey, world. Like, hey. Anyways, exactly what I'd expect from a Legends season finale. Really did turn around this season near the end of it. Just because, I don't know, really wasn't grasping my attention for most of this season. Mona was literally the worst character they've had pretty much on almost every CW show. But ultimately, at the end, I had fun. And while it doesn't exactly save the season, this is by far the weakest season they've had so far. I don't know. I still had fun by the end of it. I still managed to enjoy it, which is good. I definitely thought the ending with Nate was real sappy, but that's kind of what you come to expect. The whole Nate and Zari thing, though, was a little... We got it, and then for some reason they just decided, hey, you know what? Let's cut it off. Like, I feel like they've done this before, too. There's been way too many times where I feel like, oh, we've built this whole thing up, between people that they connect and they work together, and we built up a relationship, and they cut it off. Why do we have to keep doing that? Like, aside from Sarah and Ava, I don't think a relationship has lasted more than a season. So... I don't know. It seems a little odd that they did that here, too. I'll be curious to see who this new guy is. Because, like, he's on the team, it looks like. Like, they're walking out and he's with them. So, is he a new member of the team that we're just supposed to know now? And the other thing is the fact that history changed, and, of course, Nate doesn't even know about it. I don't know, I was expecting there to be a reaction, kind of a which, I mean, he did sort of go through with Amaya, but I was expecting there to be a loss, but they don't even remember losing her now. And apparently this new guy is part of the team. I wonder if that's going to end up being her brother. Like, for some reason, her brother joined instead of her. I don't know. Yeah, I am a little disappointed though that they did spend quite a bit of time building that up just to end it by the end of the season. It's been done before on the show, and I feel like it's kind of cliche by this point. So that's probably the biggest problem I have with this episode. Everything else is pretty interesting, uh, and fun too. Seeing them build Hayworld and trying to make a monster show so people aren't scared of monsters. Um, the plan to trick Neron into killing Nate, so that way his deal with Ray is off, and that's their chance to kill him. Um, I mean, yeah, it was all really clever. The end was just touchingly sappy sweet, and yeah, I mean, may have teared up a little bit, which it's funny when this show can do that. I'm laughing, but also I'm like, this is kind of sweet too. Like his father possessing Mick for a second to get them to sing the song. So yeah, I thought it was pretty enjoyable. Definitely interested to see what second season holds for us, though. We did see literally every season finale ends with the guy from the crossover event this season, which the same crossover event made me think some of the meta jokes this season were so good. Like at one point they were talking about ratings. Ray was talking about, oh, we haven't done magical creatures. That would be good for ratings or something like that. Like ratings? He's like, yeah, at the Time Bureau, they rate us, don't they? I'm like, I see what you did there. And then in this one, they're doing the commercial, and so they have Sarah dressed up as Supergirl, Nate dressed up as Arrow, and then Gary dressed up as the Flash. And Nate's just like, should have done the crossover. Like, it just it cracks me up whenever they throw in those little meta jokes because I don't know, Legends seems like a show that can, but yeah. So, but every season finale ended hinting towards the crossover next season, the Crisis on Infinite Earths. The guy from the crossover this season was at the Hayworld show. He seemed really, I don't know if he was shaking his head in disapproval or if he was shaking his head like kind of jokingly like this is a terrible act. But it seemed like he wasn't all for them changing this, changing history to where people aren't scared of monsters. So I don't know. I don't know what exactly was going on with him, but I'll be curious to see how the Legends play into it next season. Like, because he didn't even talk to them at all. Um, Whereas it seems like he's affected. He went and talked straight to Oliver, and he did visit Supergirl's homeworld with John's brother. So yeah, I'll be curious. He didn't talk to the Flash either, but we did see the hint for him came through the article jumping ahead in time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what's going to go on with that next season, what the whole thing about it is. And then also we did see the Astra. We saw her in Hell, and she was trading in some of the worst sinners in history. She was letting them get a second chance. So it's almost like some of these moments in history are going to be rewritten. Like she was talking about people who were cut down before they really accomplished what they were trying to do. So I'm just imagining, like we saw Genghis Khan. We saw her at one point. She took, oh God, what was one of the other coins she took? I don't remember now. But she did. It seems like she took some of the most dangerous people in history, and it seems like she's gonna try to make it to where they did accomplish what they were trying to do, like the people that were, I guess, finished off before they could completely accomplish what they were trying to do. So I'm thinking like, we saw Genghis Khan. I'm thinking of like Napoleon would be one, Hitler. Uh, I'm too tired to try to think of stuff right now. But people like that, Alexander the Great is maybe another one. People who are trying to conquer, just to conquer. People who are trying to just murder people. Maybe even like some of the most terrifying serial killers in history. That might be a fun episode to have next season. Like a Jeffrey Dahmer or Zodiac killer or something like that. Where maybe these serial killers that died before they got too many on their body count, maybe she brings them back. They would have good reference for it because apparently Ava is kind of obsessed with the stories of serial killers. So, they could definitely have an episode about that for next season if they decide to bring back somebody like a Jeffrey Dahmer. But yeah, just pretty solid setup for next season. I feel like it's going to make things very interesting to see the type of historical people they decide to bring up and bring back to life to let them accomplish their ultimate goal. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see where next season takes us. Unfortunately, it seems like Mona's still going to be a part of the team. Just please don't give her too much focus. Please don't give her too much focus. They're going to give her a lot of focus, aren't they? She's going to be like a main character next season, isn't she? So yeah, thoughts on the season as a whole. I already talked about Mona. But the story with Neron was good. The stuff with Constantine and actually being more focused on like demons and magical creatures. I thought it was a good turn for the Legends this season because it's something that none of the other shows I think would really be able to handle very well. But on Legends, I thought it fit pretty well. If Mona were not such a big part of it, probably would have enjoyed the season a lot more. Like, honestly, I was enjoying the setup. I was enjoying a lot of what they were doing at the beginning of this season. It's just whenever she entered the picture, all of a sudden things kind of went little not good. And then some of the wackiness and the zaniness. I get that that's what this show is all about, but there did seem to be a few times where it felt like the zaniness didn't really make me laugh as much this season. Like, it felt like there were a lot of moments that last season would have cracked me up, but this season, I don't know, maybe if I'm just kind of getting tired of it, or if maybe the jokes just weren't as good this season. It still did have me laughing for quite a bit of this show, but there were definitely less moments that I felt like I was cracking up to as compared to the first few seasons, where I felt like they really had a lot of their humor on point. I don't think I talked about this. Vandal Savage, great addition. Just kind of a funny joke. Wanted to talk about that real quick. The fact that he was there, he and Ray were playing Jenga. That did get me laughing. So yeah, like some jokes like that worked really, really well. But then some I felt like really missed their mark. Some of them, a lot of them had to do with Mona. But some of them, like with Gary, there were moments where he wasn't as funny this season. There were some episodes like the one with the Jane Austen novel. Didn't really laugh at that one much at all. I'm trying to. There was another one that should have made me laugh, where I felt like I wasn't laughing. I don't remember. I feel like it was earlier on in the season because I feel like Nate's dad was involved somehow. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed like they were a little bit off their game with the jokes and stuff for this season. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed with that. But overall, I mean, it's not too bad. It's just it wasn't as good as it's been. It wasn't as funny as it's been, and I felt like the story sometimes took a break to focus on something that wasn't as important as what the main story was. Even then, I felt like it took Constantine a little too long to warm up to the team. It took him at least half of the season before he realized the error of his ways and decided, okay, fine, I'll help. But even then, that kind of got rewritten at the end because then he made the choice for Astra and had to, use Nora's help to be able to get Rey out of there. So, yeah, I don't know. I am curious to see where next season goes, but that's about it for now. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this season? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe. Future Legends of Tomorrow reviews, and I will see you guys next season. Peace out.